Hi everyone, it's Scott here from That's English Go 英語研究プロジェクト。よくある間違いを分析します。体が硬い、体が柔らかい。子供が遊んでる時とかよく、みんな話してますね。体柔らかいね。羨ましい。そのような話よく耳にしませんか？なぜかよくわかりませんが、ここの英会話教室でよく出る話題ですよね。うちの生徒さんの平均年齢が他のところちょっと高いかなという、印象がありますけどね。例えばヨガの話、子供の話、そして年を取ってるな、もう若くないよという話になるとね。しかし必ずと言ってもいいぐらい間違ってMy body is hard と言ってしまう方がほとんどですね。外国の方にそういう発言をするとね、変な顔されてしまう可能性が十分ありますよ。後でそういう話をしますね。So I'm sure you've heard enough of my dodgy Japanese. You came here to study English, right? We'll look at this case study using 4 logical steps. We'll look at the problem, the reason, the solution, and of course, with some example sentences at the end. Okay, here we go. First, let's look at the problem. My body is hard. My body is hard. This is such a weird one. But we're in luck, it can easily be fixed. Of course, the problem with this sentence is the word hard. The Japanese words katai and yawarakai can be used in many different situations in the Japanese language. But you can't use them in exactly the same way in English as the words hard and soft. Certainly, you can say metal is hard. Jelly is soft. You know, those kinds of things. But when you're talking about the human body, it gets a tad more complicated. I'm so hard and you're so soft. What? What on earth are you talking about? My body, it's so hard and yours is, well, so soft. Hang on. You're getting a little personal here. Personal? It's just the way we are. Yep, it's complicated, like I said. Let's look at the reason. Now, there are 2 main reasons why we don't use the word hard, like you do in Japanese, when we talk about our bodies. The first thing that comes to mind when you say, my body is hard, is a bodybuilder or someone who is really fit, like an athlete. Don't believe me? Look what happens when we do a Google image search for the words hard body. Look at all these muscular bodies. They must have hard muscles. On the other hand, if you did a search in Japanese for 体が硬い, we get a completely different set of pictures. We see people stretching, and it's completely different from the English search. The second reason you shouldn't use the word hard when talking about your body is more, how should I put this? Sexual. Men should be very careful with this, as it could be misconstrued as sexual harassment. I'll leave it up to your imagination, but if a man says to a woman, I'm hard, then he might be getting a slap in the face. Enough said. How about the word soft? Most English speakers would probably think you're talking about either your skin is very soft, which is nice, but they could also take it the wrong way too, by thinking that you're saying they are overweight. That's not good. Wow, you're very soft. I mean, your body. Soft. Well, I have put on a little weight lately. What? Oh, but you look great. You look like you're in great shape. Actually, my body is hard. Let's break this down a little further. I think we need to. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of this whole video. How can we say 体が柔らかい, 体が硬い in a nice natural way in English? Let's look at 柔らかい first. There are two good ways to say it. The first way to say it is flexible. My grandmother is so flexible. I wish I were more flexible. I'm stretching to get more flexibility. We're starting to hear this word more and more in Japan when we talk about work. So the expression is flexible work. It's actually sometimes shortened to flexi work. The basic meaning of flex is to bend something without breaking it or damaging it. Take these two things for instance. This cutting board is flexible. See? This clipboard is inflexible. We can also use the word flexible to talk about someone's personality. If they are able to change or adapt to different situations or people. John is really flexible when it comes to choosing a restaurant.
I'll eat anywhere.
My boss is not the most flexible person in the world.
Don't do it like that.
Going back to the body thing, the second way to say it is by using the word supple. Unlike the word flexible, supple is usually only used for talking about the body. This ballerina is very supple. This yoga instructor has a very supple body. Cheetahs are extremely supple. So how about 体が硬い? Well, this is a little trickier. Unexcitingly, the best word is inflexible. But you could also say something like, I'm as stiff as a board. I can't even touch my toes. I struggle with being flexible. It's tough to achieve a full range of motion. Sad to say this, but I fall into this category. Better get to work. Time for a downward dog. Let's take a look at 5 example sentences. Here's the first one. People who have good flexibility just seem to move around with an extra spring in their step. Have you ever noticed that? Flexible people just seem to bounce effortlessly around the room. To have a spring in your step means that you walk very lightly, like you've got springs on your shoes. In order to get a bit more supple, I paid through the nose to get a private yoga instructor. To pay through the nose means to pay a bit too much for something. Sometimes it's used in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. Scott, can you pick up that paper for me? Sure thing. I'm getting stiff in my old age. So when you're getting stiff, it's kind of a sign of aging. I guess it happens to the best of us. I wish my boss had a more flexible attitude towards taking time off. He's a stickler for rules. If you're a stickler for something, it means you find it very difficult to change your way of thinking. What's the best way for me to improve my flexibility? I'm like a mannequin in a shop window. If you get any good ideas, leave them down in the comments. But go easy on me, yeah? The next video for you is this one right here. It's about how to use the word very in a way that you've probably never even thought about. I'll see you over there. Let's go.